You're listening to Weeknight Wizards.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Weeknight Wizards. I'm your unfriendly neighborhood GM, Anthony, joined today by my four capable guests. Guests? Co-stars? Who are you people?
Probably co-stars, I would say. I don't think we're
Let's go with-
guests at this point.
Cohorts.
Thank you for joining me, my
criminals.
Yes. These are four people that I found on the street that I convinced to play D&D with me. Why don't you go through and introduce yourselves so that people can get used to associating your name with your voice.
Sure. We can go in dice order, assuming I think this will be the same for everyone. My name is Michael. I'm playing Manny the Minotaur, who is a berserker.
My name is Joe. I am playing Quintilian, the Haragon Bard. Greg, you are next in dice order.
Yeah, I was pausing for dramatic effect.
Oh, good.
Hi. It's called Stagecraft. I am Gregory, and I'm playing Vera of Paris, a Gorgon warlock.
I actually preferred Stagecraft 2. I thought the changes they made.
You must construct additional scenes.
Stagecraft 2, Wings of Freedom. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm Nick. I'm playing One-Eye, a turtle berserker.
And I'm Anthony once again. I am playing everybody else. Funny story. I had a friend reach out to me recently. She works for PR at a video game company. And they are putting out a game that is based on The Walking Dead. They're putting it out, or it is out. I don't remember. So I think it's going to release shortly, and she gets an email from the developer saying, "Okay, I'm sorry, we have a little bit of an issue that we can't solve it before launch, but we'll solve it after launch." It's in the credits. It says "Walking Dead" instead of "Walking Dead," and she's like, "Okay, that's fine. It's in the credits. Nobody's going to see that day one probably. That's all good." Then she gets another email. This time it is from the writers and the PR team that she has to look over the statement for. And that is where factors 2 and 3 come in. The statement that she notices is that, let me see if I can get this wording right. Players are able to, it's play as characters from a lineup of over 12 iconic characters from the Walking Dead universe. She's like, okay, so first of all, you're saying characters twice, so you could probably just say choose from a lineup of over 12 iconic characters. But also, over 12? What does that mean, over 12?
That means there's 13 characters.
Do you mean 13? Do you mean 15? Do you mean 1,000 and you can play as every zombie?
Over 12, yeah. I think it's pretty clear, Anthony.
It's 13.
It is 13. It's always 13.
But yeah, I particularly enjoy wording stuff like that. That's my thing.
I thought you were going to say Christopher Walken Dead. That would have been a really different show.
Ooh.
Improv
I'm not
game.
about to try a Christopher Walken impersonation on a stream.
You have to be good at that in order to even try to break it out. Players, Here is your player question for the evening. Last time we asked about video games. Tonight, I'm going to ask you about books.
Uh-oh.
Not a challenging question. This is simply, what is a book that stuck with you all these years?
Oh, thank
We're
God.
gonna stop with what is a book?
Let's talk about what is a book.
It's like a dead tree.
It's like a dead tree, and you look at it and you hallucinate.
I've got
It can be the story, it can be the physical copy. What's a book that stuck with you all these years?
I have a lot that I like, but I'll say I can start us off with one that's a little bit weird, but really, really good. Well, there's two actually, so I forgive. I
need you to pick one, Greg.
Are you sure? They're both really
If you
interesting.
pick more than
Look,
one,
you-
I'm gonna shoot you in the leg.
You can pick The Bourne Identity and Mission Impossible, the novelizations.
Okay, I'll pick one.
Thank you.
There's a novel that is only probably about 100 or 130 pages. It's called The Bathroom by Jean-Philippe Toussaint. And it is a book in 3 parts that largely talks about a man living in his apartment and his life and relationship. But the 3 parts are written in such a way that you can start the book at any of the 3 parts and read it as a cycle. So you can start with part 3, then go to part 1 into part 2. You can start at part 2, going to part 3 into part 1, and it's the same story.
It's
So
like a choose
it
your own
is-
adventure.
So what's cool about it, it is a narrative equivalent of a Mondrian, which if you've seen that before, that is the white, blue, red, and yellow art piece. That's the different rectangles. That's like the modern art piece. So it's a narrative literary equivalent of that art style. So super fascinating, very interesting, compelling read. Highly recommend it to people. It's something that kind of I return to as like there are great writers that do great world building, and then there are great writers that do writing as an art form, and that is a book that is writing as an art form, which I've always found to be
Very
interesting.
Sick.
I don't want
Anyways,
to
my other ones, everybody poops. No, just
You
Got 'em.
can read it. You can read it at any part, and it ends
Yeah.
with the same story, and it ends with the main characters just shitting all over the floor.
There's a lot of books that I feel stuck with me. The first one that came to mind is just like, because we're playing a fantasy game, is like, what was sort of like a fantasy awakening genre as a kid? And it's gonna definitely would have been the Redwall series. Read way too many of those books, which aren't that good, other than descriptions of food. But I'm
That's
happy
an
to say
entire series, though, Michael. I asked for one
Fine.
book, or you get shot in the leg.
Okay, the single book from that series that I would pick is going to be Moss Flower. That was a really cool. That was a good one.
Moss Flower, not Pearls of Lutra.
No, not Pearls. Pearls Lutra is good too, but there's a lot of good ones. But Moss
Yeah.
Flower is definitely the more epic of the.
That's a solid pick. Love
I'm
that.
gonna stick with Michael's fantasy sort of genre, and I'm
Inspiring.
gonna go with Sojourn by R.A. Salvatore. It is one of the books in the Legacy of Drist series. I think Salvatore writes combat better than any writer I've ever read, I should say, and it's just very good, very, very good.
I'm going back into the obscure. There's a book that I had to read that I read for college once called House of Coates, Coates by Brad Zeller. It's a story about living in a small Minnesota town in winter, and it's only 60 pages long, including photographs. So you can finish it in an afternoon, if that.
I've seen this on your coffee table.
Yes, it is one of my favorite books of all time. I don't know what happened to my copy. I have to get a new copy. I loaned it out to someone.
Anthony stole it from your coffee table.
Yeah, Anthony probably sold it to me.
No, I didn't.
Very, very
I
good
promise.
book. If you
I like that you had to
live
read a
in
book.
Minnesota or aspire to.
I like that you had to read a book about surviving winters in Minnesota, having.
Well, it was like an American literature class,
I see.
and we were
That's
trying to keep it hyper local because
Read local.
Coates, the town, is only like 45 minutes out of the Twin Cities, I think.
I've driven past the House of Coates on Highway 55.
Yeah, it's
52.
I think so. It's like a restaurant / hotel.
I was really
Yeah,
more a
hotel.
Game of Coats fan. You know, the original.
All right, I will
Anyway.
round us out with I'll round us out with my choice into my foray into one of my forays into fantasy would probably be the Golden Compass. I've gone back and reread that thing so many times.
Very good. Mm-hmm.
Good series.
It is, and I like for whatever reason, like I just recall enjoying the feeling of reading it. And when you get to books 2 and 3, like my brain just doesn't track what happens in those books. And so every time I read them, it's like the first time
Yeah,
over and over again.
Amber's Spyglass was like what ruined me emotionally.
See, I loved The Subtle Knife. It's so
It's
good.
amazing.
Subtle Knife
But
is so good.
The Golden Compass being like real world ish, but also like fantasy ish, and blending those two so seamlessly before it kind of goes off into more heavy fantasy is A+. Love it.
The only thing
Funny
I
little-
remember about those books is at some point the main character throws a bunch of flour up in the air, and then
Sure.
blows up a train car.
I love that of all the things, including warrior polar bears, what you remember is flour.
The
being
flour.
thrown into
Yeah,
the air.
that's the only thing I remember. I
It's
liked
really
those
funny.
books too.
Yeah, they really should have named it instead of Golden Compass. Flour gets thrown in the
Flower
air.
in
and
the air.
explodes.
Yeah.
I read
Joe,
all
those
of those
were
books.
kind of-
I read all of those books while listening to Blink-182's album "Take Off Your Pants and Jacket." So if I hear any song on that album, it brings me back to those books. It's really interesting. It's a really interesting association.
Hanging out behind
Joe-
the club on the weekend.
Joe, if you were really gonna clown on us,
Mm-hmm.
I think that you would have said, yeah, a book that's really stuck with me. It's this sort of little known book. It's, I don't know, kind of a cult classic to some people.
Infinite
It's
Jest.
it's written by Michael Crichton.
So, that would be a very good in joke, and no one
Yeah.
on the stream.
Am I? Wait,
Joe doesn't even get it because he doesn't know.
Yeah.
is it Jurassic Park? Is it a Jurassic
Yeah,
Park?
it's Jurassic
Okay.
Park,
I
Pongo
put it
is actually
together.
a really good book, by the way, by Michael Crichton. It's actually a
Crichton's
very good book.
Very good writer.
He's a good writer.
Michael
He even
Keaton?
wrote Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Anthony, I
That
was
the same
hoping
book.
you were going to say one of your own books. That was what I
That
was
would be
waiting for.
incredibly conceited.
Well, you are Anthony.
Wow, thank you.
Wow.
Would anybody like to describe for the listeners and the re-listeners, once this is exported, what happened last session?
Sure. We began our first session of our campaign, or sort of a session 0, I guess, or maybe 0.5, where we got introduced to our cast of characters: Quintilian, Vera, Wanai, and Manny, who are all protecting a barge, like a cargo boat. They'd been hired to do so. Quintilian stole a what is the term for
A
that?
sextant?
It's not-
Sextant.
A sextant, yes, not a spyglass. A sextant from the captain, which will definitely not bite us in the ass.
No.
They've made it to the port town of Three Bells, not to be confused with Two Bells, which they have established they visited earlier.
Which is also real.
And they made their way into town. Made a quick stop at a local the temple, and they made their way into the tavern where Quintilian tried to both cheat and win at gambling and failed at both, but had a good time, and generally we were able to make some friends until it was determined that the sister there was the duo leading the tavern, the brother and sister, and the sister. Remind me their names, Anthony. I cannot recall.
Yeah, the sister's name is. Oh, I have the character tokens right here. The sister's name is Para, and the brother's name is Patron.
Yes, Para and Patron. But Para was kidnapped by some unseen kidnapper in the darkness, and we've ingratiated ourselves and basically got ourselves hired to rescue her.
You cannot forget that there is not guaranteed, but almost certainly a map inside that sexton.
Yes,
That was discussed in there.
Schrödinger's sexton. Until we open it up, there may or may not be a map in the sexton.
Actually,
I mean,
that's every object
every
in
sexton.
this game.
I mean, a sextant is used for navigation. It could also just be the map.
It's true.
Yeah.
You've solved my sextant riddle.
Dang it.
Nice work.
Dr. Puzzler strikes again.
Dr. Puzzler
Incredible.
observes the backyard.
My favorite
right.
thing I think about this group is that we do in jokes for no one. like
They're for
like-
us.
yeah, it's amazing. It's so good.
Dr. Puzzler is an inside joke, but it's also objectively funny.
Agreed.
Dr. Puzzler.
Agreed.
So I will bring us in here. It is, I believe we established that it is late evening here in the town of Three Bells. Your barge, the cargo barge that you are guarding, the Sea Swan, is docked and set to leave in 2 days' time. You have been enjoying yourselves at the Dragon's... Is it the Dragon's Rest or the Dragon's Landing?
I think it was landing.
The Dragon's Landing. I'm thinking of
Rickety
Merlin's
Shack.
Rest.
Hmm.
That's another place that exists in the real world. You have left the Dragon's Landing and tried to find the kidnappers who have taken Para from her workplace.
Rude.
Yeah, it is a. When you were describing it, Michael, you're like, she was kidnapped. I was like, kidnapped by who? By
don't know.
kidnappers.
Well, I realized I don't know who kidnapped her. Just
Terrible
someone.
fate. Kidnapped by kidnappers.
I guess we also don't know if she was kidnapped. We just know that she left
she
with
ain't
it.
She's
there.
allegedly kidnapped.
Allegedly. The gentleman who...
You are innocent until proven kidnapped. I think.
That's a rule, yeah. The gentleman who... Or I'm sorry, the person who alerted you to the disappearance of Para described the people or figures that took Para as heading up the coast. I'm in the right thing. Yes. Oop, I just left. Heading... I believe we decided that this was going to be westward, up the coast. And I think that is where we will lead in. The four of you are outside of the Dragon's Landing Tavern. Lighting conditions are poor. And I believe that will make any kind of tracking that you want to do a little bit more difficult right now.
Well, we have to ask the traditional D&D question of who has dark vision.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
not
right.
me.
You guys are all
I
animal
do.
folk.
I do.
All right.
60 or 30
what
for
do you-
you.
What do your Gorgon eyes see?
60.
Sick.
Racial trait.
I thought you were
I don't
asking
know.
like a 20/20 vision question when you said 60/30.
60-30. One eye
close.
over
far.
over powerful. the other eye very bad. So should I do a little perception check, I guess, or
Actually, it's going to be survival to check or
Ooh,
to
okay.
track.
Crack. Yeah.
interesting? All right.
I'm
Find out.
trained in
18.
survival. I'm not good at it, but I will try it. I think I actually made a thing that Manny was.
I'd like to aid him, in fact, to give him
gosh.
advantage.
Aid Michael, he's bad. I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah.
I
you're
rolled an
bad.
18. I rolled an 18.
Yeah. I don't
You
need
did. Unfortunately, Michael rolled a 1.
Yeah, so Manny doesn't know what he's doing. Manny actually left, if I recall, it was like out the door basically before we signed the contract. So Manny's just going in the wrong direction.
Maddie's like,
Yeah,
I'm sorry,
I
we
think
can't
what
do anything.
happens.
The lights have been turned off tonight.
Tilly,
Yeah,
can you
so-
aid some guidance to these fellows?
Unfortunately, no. That is not currently in my repertoire. But I'll tell you what I can do. I can make that contract I had them sign look pretty fancy.
That that doesn't seem very useful at this time.
Well, you know what? You're not very useful either at this time.
That
I
was
got a
wisdom
candle
skill.
I've got a candle I can light.
You hear from like some back alley that Manny stumbled into, like survival's a wisdom skill. Monks are good at that, right?
Okay, so what do I see with my Gorgon eyes?
Yes, you see. You see 4 pairs of clawed footprints and drag marks leading up the road and like kind of like where this area kind of becomes more of a natural setting. So it leads into grass, which then flows down into more like beach, sandy coastline. Manny, you think you see the same thing in the opposite direction?
So I would like to make some sort of save because Manny is a coward and doesn't like going places alone.
I don't know
So-
if you have to make a save to do that.
Well, because that's why he would go check for his friends. Is what I'm saying. It sounds like you were trying to mislead me, but Manny would be like, realizing his friends aren't with him, would turn and look around.
Oh,
yeah.
that's fine.
Well, Michael, I mean, not to overplay this, but wouldn't a coward technically run directly away from where danger is? And so
Sorry.
if you mistakenly think the danger's in the opposite direction, you would run towards danger accidentally and follow everyone.
I would say
Into the right spot.
he's an earnest, like he is. When I say coward, he is he wants to protect his friends, but he doesn't feel confident on his own. Is more what I mean.
Mm.
He's not.
You don't want to
he's not
reverse psychology the DM?
No,
That's fine.
not my goal. But that's the thing. I think he feels very much more confident when he has his friends with him and his companions. So he would that would be a big red flag for him.
Okay. So yeah, you see the trail heading westward out of town, but it is also getting pretty late. What would you like to do?
I'd like to light a torch and head towards in the direction of the tracks that Vera found.
Yeah, I think we stupidly and foolishly promised to, I don't know who did it, to save Para. So I think we are bound to that course of action.
Nah,
Could have been
So
anyone.
We didn't get a time limit on it, but you're right.
nah, I would like.
it would be kind of hilarious for us to have been like end of last session. We'll go save your sister. Start of this session. Back on the ship. We're fucking leaving.
Nah, you don't. I wrote that clause into the contract. All I said was we would try, you know?
Well, in that case, we might as well try.
One
I
Eye
think-
will fearlessly light a torch and start heading in the direction.
I will also.
Vera is just kind of smugly walking ahead without a torch because of her Gorgon eyes.
Love that.
I will
brilliant,
walk
guys.
behind everyone, in the shadows, not in the light of the torches.
You're gonna get dragged up too, and we won't even know.
So the trail leads you down to the beach, and you can tell that it is high tide right now, being night.
High tide.
Being wet.
Being high tide,
Oh,
it
it's
is high tide right
because
now.
of the way it is. Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell that the tide is high because it's higher than it was during the day.
Nice.
Yeah.
Survival.
You can
Um,
tell it's high tide because all of your islands tap for blue.
So the tracks lead you about almost 2 miles out of town. It
Okay.
takes you up the coast, kind of winding up into the sand, kind of up around like some of the more rocky areas. And with how long it is taking, I'm going to ask for another survival check
I got
from the
this
group.
with my torch.
Nailed
Nice.
it.
Also,
I have
Yeah,
decent
Manny-
survival.
I-
Just rolled
that's-
poorly.
yeah. Well,
That's a hilarious number of ones we have rolled in our first couple. I
It
know
really
I
is.
know it's doubled, but
You got to get the bad ones out first.
I'm gonna say I aid Quintillion. Just let's make it easy. Do I have to roll for that?
So usually when you
Quintil-
aid a character in any skill check, they just get advantage on it.
Then it doesn't matter. Okay.
both Quintillion and I rolled 15s.
Yeah. So you're able to follow the tracks pretty closely, even though it is nighttime conditions, as well as passing over various different terrain types.
Do I see any signs of like struggle or anything of that nature? Like,
How many sets of footprints do we see on the beach? Was someone carrying someone? during attacks?
You only see one set of footprints because they walk in single file to hide their numbers.
These ones are 2x2.
Let's see. So eventually you come to a pretty large cave entrance. It is roughly 10 feet wide. It's kind of etched into the rock. We're going to say it's right around here. And the tracks lead there. But as you approach, you notice that there is something that is in front of the cave entrance that sort of scuttles into view.
is there light coming from the cave or is it dark?
That's a good question, Nick. Why don't you make a perception check for me?
Oh, very good
23.
Damn, dog. You can see that there are faint lights coming from inside the cave. And on a 23, that is a very good roll. You also notice. So let me describe this real quick. This large creature scuttles into view. It is a crayfish, but it is like the size of a horse. It's very, very large. And it appears to be
fish.
and it appears to be guarding the cave entrance. When I on a 23, you notice that it is secured to the rock nearby by a chain,
Okay.
and it appears that this is some sort of a guardian of the cave.
well, now if we ground pound the stake that it's attached to, it'll bounce all over and get rid of the gate so we can get to the star.
Hold on. We might be able to say to this creature without harming it. I'd like to approach slowly, hands out held, and would like to do an animal handling to see if I can calm it, present that I'm not a threat.
Well, now I have some
Yeah.
rations if you'd like to take one of mine.
Could help. maybe give it a little bit of food.
Yeah, that's a good
crayfish
setup.
eat?
Give me an animal handling check.
5.
Sorry, buddy.
Anyway, I'm trying. I'm just trying.
You are, yeah. I love the attempts. Yeah, that was a good attempt, but I think that the crayfish has just eaten, and
Sure.
it is uninterested in your friendly advances, and it snaps at you with its large
I was gonna say,
claws.
I'd like to be clear that I'm not getting too close to this thing. I am getting close to it, but not like, you
Yeah.
know. So, but yeah.
It is not dissuaded by your friendly-ish advances.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Block it with it.
Well, now how are we doing this?
Guys,
Are you saying that to your group or to the crayfish?
it doesn't
To the group.
it doesn't seem to be hungry. As I start to sort of like,
Manny's already pulling his warhammer out.
I'll say back away and sort of take a, you know, not a defensive stance. That's not a thing, but just
You can use the dodge action.
everybody sees one and he's like, so slow approach, grab some food from Quintilian and try to placate this animal, and it does not. Clearly, it's not being placated anyway.
What is the range on this on its like leash?
Make a perception check for me, Michael,
Right. Well,
if you can.
so far, not going great.
Hey,
21.
Yeah. It looks like it is about 20 feet of chain. The cave entrance is probably about 10 feet wide. I don't have a map for this one drawn. This one will be a little bit more theater of the mind.
So Manny looks and goes, do we want to try to sneak past it, or should we just try to take it out? And he's kind of holding up a javelin versus his warhammer.
well now let me try this one thing real quick. He's gonna kind of take out his lute and start to strum.
Because we know
Okay.
crayfish love folk music.
No.
They love.
I'm gonna-
I've been to Louisiana, and yes, they do.
I'm gonna use minor illusion to make the sound of like, boy, a really sexy crayfish.
You had all of the
no.
alluring sounds of all worlds, real and imagined, and you went with sexy crayfish.
Well, what else would get this crayfish to leave?
That's what fantasy's
Like
about.
a large seagull.
I'd really like Joe to have to make the sound.
I would too.
Hang on, I can't roll to see how good the spell is.
Well, what
No.
if he makes a sound? Can he get advantage, Anthony?
If you make the sound, I will lower the DC.
Well, it's it'd be I don't know how you want to do it. It's like a save from the crayfish.
He's saying if you make the sound, he's gonna make it an easier roll for you.
Yeah, but it's minor illusion isn't like a roll. Like
Oh, I
No,
see.
no,
I see what
no.
you're saying.
it's
But no,
it
doesn't matter.
it
You
has
make the
Lights to
sound
make
and
sound.
yes, and then
okay.
the crayfish will make it save, and it'll be easier
Sure.
for
Correct.
or harder.
Yeah,
for
it's an intelligence check.
Manny looks over and he says, "Why does everything you guys say so sexual?"
Yeah, I love that. Cool. That's
Oh,
gonna
so
be.
we find out Anthony's actually a crayfish.
You didn't know.
Sorry, what?
You said you love that.
Not the noise itself, to be clear. Yeah, I'm gonna roll wisdom for you,
My spell save.
and
Is
I'm going
12.
to give it a lovely reduction because it has that sort of the soundtrack of nature in its ear. So I'm gonna give you an additional
Soundtrack of love.
-3 to it.
Wow.
Wow.
A
That's
critical
a-
fail.
Hell yeah!
This crayfish is so horny it dies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the crayfish is in heat and willing to dominate anything that moves.
I think he's in a rut.
So,
That's what it
well,
is.
it's
It's
like
so submissive and breedable that it just goes into the ocean and
I
kills
wish
itself.
you hadn't said that.
I'm assuming because it's like if it's like around a rock or something, can we unchain it?
You can access its chain. It is within range of its own chain though.
Well, yeah, but like if it's distracted, we could just.
Sure. Yeah, I can have if you would like to
I will
attempt to
pull. Yep, I'll attempt
Yeah.
to pull the chain out.
you can do that with advantage. because it
Maybe
is
Manny
very-
and I both.
very
Yeah.
distracted.
I assist 1A with it.
You want a strength?
I would take an athletics. I would take
I'm doing
athletics
athletics.
is exactly what I'm looking for.
20 with the
That's
8 of.
That's pretty good, Nick. Hard to beat 20, especially at level 1. Yeah, so
Pretty strong, boys.
you get
Strong
past
boy.
the crayfish and you unhook its chain. And now
And
it's free.
Well,
Is
not
it
you.
seeking out that noise.
You have a good
Yes.
night now. I'm gonna kind of like make the minor loot. It might have to be stationary.
If the sound, it doesn't really matter, does it?
No, you can move and cast
So
that
one of
spell.
you will head up to the. And I feel like Manny's just like behind him, in like. So
You're
imagine I
holding
was
onto
doing-
your shell. and
Yes,
grabbed on
like
by
doing
the-
exercises. You're like spotting me and also pulling at the same time.
It flips up into the air.
I don't want to railroad you guys or metagame, but if you get past this crayfish
Not gonna have
Okay.
combat.
and get to the next thing, no. What happens when you guys need to leave?
Crayfish
That
are
was
all
why I.
free.
That was why I let it go.
Yeah, that's why we unhooked it. So it would. I doubt it wants to be where it is.
What if this is the only home it's ever known?
Yeah. Well, now it's full and looking for some crayfish puss. Or
Ugh.
dick.
Again,
No,
I wish you
that's-
hadn't said that. You just killed Greg.
Greg is dead. Well, we can cross this bridge when we come to it. On the
Yeah.
way out.
Okay. So, you are already in a position where you're able to get into the cave.
Manny's right there
Um,
with them, so.
Okay.
I'm gonna pull my weapon out and equip my shield, and advance into the cave with the group.
You can advance with Manny. I'm gonna need
I will advance with Manny.
Quinn and Vera to make stealth checks with advantage to get around the loose crayfish.
Loose, horny crayfish.
16.
19.
Excellent work. um, okay. Cool. So let me bring you guys to the next stage. You solved my crayfish puzzle. Okay, so if you guys want to pop your tokens in here, this is the entry to our little dungeon adventure.
So, just to be clear, I haven't been a player in a long time. I just drag my name from the journal onto the map.
Should work.
Should. Just to be clear, I haven't led a campaign in a while.
Oh,
so-
it works.
Good. Tokens in there.
Sick.
Nice.
Oh boy, Greg, yours got way over
I
here.
believe Manny and
We're gonna be in front, probably.
are leading the
I'd like to note for the viewers that we generated all of our tokens here earlier tonight using Adobe Firefly, the AI, which are a little bit more free to use than
They're more
any of the more-
respectful. And they're not.
Yeah.
They're not pulling without permission.
hashtag
Correct.
not an ad.
So
Not an ad,
Anthony,
but gives us some cool looking art for our boyos.
so if I have dark vision and I can see up to 60 feet, are we just making the assumption that I will just relate to the others what I see? Or
The inside of this area is lit.
okay,
Let me
Sick.
describe it for you.
Place is fucking lit.
The inside of the cave is illuminated with torches and smells strongly of like a tidal pool. There's a strong seaweed smell. You can see in the corner here, the corner here, that there is sort of a raised muddy mound that the crayfish likely used as its nest. There is a door leading further in, but this area appears to be carved out intentionally, not like a naturally formed cave, as the entrance would lead you to believe.
Okay.
Well, it looks
Do we-
like
Do we see any?
sleeps here.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say, do we see the tracks still leading in? Any signs of struggle here in the spot or anything of that nature? More evidence of we are on the right track is what I'm looking for, essentially.
Yes, you can see the tracks that are that continue deeper into the structure.
Manny just looks around and goes, "Are we ready? Can I open the door?"
Yeah, let's do it. Sorry.
Vera,
Yeah,
do
I-
you want to check if there's any traps or anything? Kind of your
No,
bag.
we're fine.
Okay, Manny opens the door.
Right behind him.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed some description here. It's been a while since I've used written material.
Oh, it
Thanks
says
for
here
man.
there's a million traps.
Oh, anyone who opens this door is dead instantaneously.
It says here that there's actually there's an elder crayfish inside.
Who's even hornier?
The other crayfish comes in, they bang. Okay, so the entry chamber. This was just giving me the stuff about the crayfish here. This chamber here that you are in looks like it was once the grand audience hall of whatever structure this is, but has fallen into deep disrepair. The sea has worn away the tiles on the floor, and everything is covered with mud, filth, and detritus, which also seems to have been brought in by whatever para captors are.
Manny notes the detritus, but definitely probably doesn't recognize the hall's function, and opens the door.
It's actually not a door; it's just an archway.
Oh. He flings open
And
the
there are runes written above the archway.
Can
I
read
speak
them?
I speak the Elvish word for friend.
Bella.
It's Mellon.
True.
It does sound like Bella.
Can you read them? Good question. What languages do you know?
I do unironically
Common.
know Elvish and Common.
What was that, Nick?
Hold
I'm
on.
pretty sure Manny only speaks Common and Minotaur, which I
The
doubt
runes
is
are
the-
not in Elvish or Common.
Yeah, common and turtle.
Tortle has a distinct language?
I'm making one up. I had two languages. I chose my own race's language.
Yeah, I
The
picked mine
native
for-
language of my people.
We can
Cool.
We can
If you
hedge
would.
that later if you want, but
Vera only speaks French. Is that going to be a problem?
We haven't understood a word she said this entire time.
The runes are written in Old French.
I like the idea. I like the idea that Vera has been speaking French the whole time. It's just subtitles, so we just have no clue what's going on.
Absolutely. Yeah, none of you can read the Archway's runes.
Good. Let's. Now, if I learned
Alright.
any, if
Manny
I
flings
learned-
the door, the
Yeah.
archway open, and moves on.
Very good.
Could I make an insight check at least to know what they are, like what language they are, even though I can't read them? Could I, or a history perhaps, or
Yeah, I was gonna say
something?
that's not how insight works, but you could make yeah, I think any kind of intelligence skill that you feel would be applicable here, you can roll to see if you can recognize the language.
8.
20 for
Nick?
history.
Nick, they look like runes.
Nice.
But to the worldly Harangon of the group, this looks like it is written in Draconic.
Interesting.
Well, now these words here, they're written in the language of the dragon folk. Which
They look just like the runes in Skyrim when you learn shout.
Manny looks directly at Wanai and says, "Isn't that? It's got to be pretty close to Tortle, right?"
yeah, is it like a dialect or something?
It's a
very ignorant.
dialect that I didn't take time to study.
You know, I seem to recall this holding up our group before, but
I
nothing
don't
bad.
like it.
Nothing bad happened on that job, and nothing bad's gonna happen here. Let's go, Manny. You first.
We just
What's his
spent
name?
a good
Mazad?
hour just trying to figure out some runes before, and it didn't go anywhere.
So is this the language of Mazad?
It could be.
Oh, lore.
These look familiar to
The language of Mazad and
Think-
Mazad's people.
things I've seen Mazad put.
For the listeners, Mazad is the dragon god of this world, the god of calamity.
He's an absolute peach. Let's yeah, I think we just go full steam
Yeah,
ahead.
Manny is pretty uninterested in the history. Unfortunately, he's just not a cultured minotaur.
His
so he
brain
just
is very
adds
small.
in.
Wow.
It's just
His muscles huge.
Just
Brain
kidding.
very small.
Brain is very small. Okay, let me reveal some area here. The hall leading away from the entryway is on a slight incline, and probably about here you can see the mark of where the tide normally hits, and everything after that appears to be a lot cleaner and in much better repair.
So I would guess then, if we're nearing high tide, do we have a time limit before this is flooded?
Are we
Ooh,
going?
good question.
So, to be fair,
I'd
my
like to know the
character-
answer to that one.
Yeah, my character lives near the ocean. You know, born and raised near the ocean, understands tides, etc. So,
Salt of the beach.
can I give you
Yeah.
a perception to?
I'd like a nature check, actually, from everybody who's interested in what
Not-
those tides do.
In not
What
drowning.
that tide do, though?
Yeah, we've already established Manny is uninterested in drowning, but he unfortunately did not do very well.
Oh boy.
I got a 15.
Yes, you did. Excuse me. Manny, I think that you can kind of see the looks on your turtle friend's expression, and is giving you cause to worry because
He was already worrying, so it's all set. Don't worry.
Wanai would know that this is you've probably got maybe an hour or so.
We don't have
Before.
a lot of time here, fellas. We can get in and get out, but let us make haste.
Alright, Manny moves to the hears that, nods, and just walks to the end of the hallway to look into the next room.
All right. Let me reveal some areas.
Oh, Vera, you're a little close there.
Okay. The audience chamber opens up into a large hexagonal room dominated by a great rotating orrery, which depicts the sun, the planet, the moons, and the relative orbits. And I think it's all of them described there. Everything up here appears to be above the tide line and is in much better repair because of it. You can see the tracks. Where's my ruler? The tracks get to about here, and then they sort of, like, they wipe their feet.
There's a welcome mat.
Is there a bunch of shoes lined up? Like,
Yeah, a bunch of shoes.
For their clawed feet.
Let's see, where is my...
Anthony, how would you
Bolster.
like us to move our tokens around? Would you like us to move them till you say stop? Would you like to give just general question? Are we free to
Yeah.
move on the exposed areas, or?
That's a good question, Nick.
Yeah, straight
you-
to the orrery.
I would probably ask that you don't move until I'm done with the room description.
Okay.
And I did need to give a little hang on there, because this room has some occupants in it as well.
Yeah.
Which
I yeah, right.
neglected
I
to put in here.
understand this portion for sure.
Yeah.
Maybe can you give us a cue? Maybe
Yeah.
maybe just a don't go too far into the space or something along those lines.
That's fine.
Hey, don't go too far into this space. There's a bunch of guys here. Let's see. What do we have?
Damn, look at those abs.
Yeah, unfortunately, the little demon tokens that I generated, like, unbelievably sexy. Can't be helped.
I
Can't
feel
be
like
helped.
it's AI in general at this point, but
AI does seem kind of horny. Like, I feel like every time I generate something, it's like
It's
Just a
moved into its
little-
adolescence.
little horny.
Four sea demons appear to make their home in this room. You can see that this end of the room is sort of a dirty pile of collected refuse, scavenged objects from the nearby town and possibly other towns nearby, animal bones and possibly bones of non-animal creatures. And 4 sea demons are kind of hanging out, playing a little
Commander.
game with human knuckle bones.
So, Commander.
It's called Commander. They see you enter the chamber.
Do they keep playing?
I
their
can
game?
and I can see them clearly because you said it is illuminated here.
Yes, yeah. Lighting is not an issue for you.
But combat has not started. We haven't rolled initiative.
I was about to ask for you to roll initiative,
Oh.
but Michael, if you want to do anything as the leading member of the team before we hop into initiative order,
Like a surprise action? Is that what you're implying? Because I'll do
Sure.
something.
Action.
yeah, I'll give you
Sure.
one surprise action.
Awesome. I will use my action to dash, and I'm going to dash up to this first guy closest, and I'm going to use my
Okay.
horns to gore him.
As you're beginning to dash, where are you going?
Man, he is not like that. He's already got his head down. Immediately after I take the dash action on my turn, I can and move at least 20 feet. You can make one melee attack with my horns. So I'm going to swing with my horns.
Rip.
Or
Rips.
first, ask questions later.
That
Which is
rips.
1d6 plus my strength modifier. Which
Yeah.
is
It's
plus
got
3.
charge. That's
Before you
awesome.
killed that boy, can you,
Mhm.
Anthony? What are these called again? Like what kind of
Sea
creatures?
demons.
Sea demons.
Sea demons.
Siemens.
Which took me a second. I was like, so
Oh,
like
hold on.
below A and B demons, but above
Correct.
D
That's
demons.
how they would be alphabetized.
Yeah. Well, then I was stuck on Keemans. Like
What?
it's like
Don't worry
demon,
about
but it starts with a C. Keemans. I didn't say my brain worked well. All right.
How's that attack going?
Hold on. It's good. I just realized I didn't have my horns, so you know. Don't
A
worry about it.
minotaur without his.
Yeah, I know. I
horns.
put it into very quickly. So.
Sure.
At that point, I just hard roll the d20 plus your.
Oh
Wow.
shit! I rolled 2 20s, even though I only had one.
Ow.
So that's a crit on my
It sure
my
is.
horn
I'd
attack.
just like the viewers to know that he just rolled 2 nat 20s.
They can see it.
It shows up.
Jeez.
And that's
You gore that demon.
I gore.
Yeah, you absolutely obliterate this thing. Like I think that you run up, you stab both of your horns into it, and I think you probably rip them out, and he like, I think you rip upward, and he kind of falls apart like a tree, like an open tree, and dies.
Wow.
I think just from the background, you just hear Vera, Vera in the back of the line going, "Nice."
Yeah.
Well, golf clap.
Yeah.
Now I would like an initiative roll, please.
Beautiful.
Although with rolls like that, I don't know how long we're gonna need initiative.
Hold
Well,
on.
that's-
Wait, no.
that's- we
Wait,
got a little
before
time
everybody
before.
rolls, pull up the marker first as the DM, and
Oh,
then let
that's
everybody
right.
roll. Then we'll populate on that list. And select your token when you roll initiative, guys.
How do
Can you
you?
remind me
great
how to
roll.
do that? It's been a minute.
It's on the left. It's in that menu on the left. It's just one of the options. Turn order, I think it's called maybe, or
I think it has like a clock.
it has its own
I can't
button.
see it on mine.
There
Got
it
it.
is.
Yeah.
And make sure you
should-
highlight the enemies when you roll their turn order as well.
You should
Just
add Greg because Greg rolled really well. So.
correct. You're gonna have to manually add him, but everybody else can. Just make sure you select your token.
Where on the sheet is there it is.
Top middle by the AC.
I was looking everywhere else. Hey, Manny's doing great. This is Manny's time to shine, guys.
Hell yeah.
As long as it involves killing other people, Manny is the
I'm here for
greatest
it.
asset.
You could probably just select one of them and have it roll a niche.
I didn't do it.
Oh, they don't have character sheets in Roll20, do they?
No.
That's what it is. So yeah, you're gonna have to just right-click one of them and add turn.
Okay.
And then manually just click the number and you can change it.
I got it. From there. Thank you. And then I'm gonna manually add Vera. Thanks for playing this imagination game with me. With lots of numbers. Sort.
Sort.
Michael, you got a 20, and the demons got a 20 as well.
What's the demon's
Good.
dex?
I was gonna ask what is
I have a
Manny's
plus
dex.
2 to my dexterity.
Okay, so you will go first.
Hey.
Sick.
Slow as fuck.
You just
Clearly.
annihilated one of their friends, and you're not done yet.
I'm fast as fuck, boy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, because there's 3 of them, I'm gonna go into a rage, and I'm gonna step. Oh, do I wanna? I don't wanna really flank myself from the get-go, but I do want to make them all.
Oh my! It appears I've flagged myself.
Question, because I forget with D&D 5e. How do attacks of opportunity? I get 1 attack of opportunity as a
So
reaction.
if you move out of range of
I'm not gonna move out. I'm more thinking if they move out. I want to. My idea is lock them into.
you can
Yeah,
use your
it is-
reaction.
It is
Yeah,
reaction. You can do it once per turn round.
I rage. I step in between them and I swing my warhammer at. We'll say the left one.
Okay.
And I have a shield, so I'm not using two hands.
Okay.
Oh, a 21.
Wow, double
that does
numbers
hit.
again.
Again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everyone
that's kind of weird.
doubles. Okay. Yeah. Can you describe how you killed this one now?
So he basically obliterated the first one, right? Horns through it,
Yeah.
he shredded it, and then immediately just takes his hammer and just smashes it down. And it's like comically like just like I think he was already like playing bones on the floor, and just crumples to the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, these are demons, right? Like I think Manny doesn't have a lot of patience. Maybe a quick question. How are demons thought of in this world?
Yeah, that's a good question. Oops.
Because I'm kind of being ruthlessly prejudiced against
Well,
these demons.
The person was kidnapped into this cave, so
Mhm.
they're at least accomplices to a kidnapping.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
But,
I deleted
yeah.
the token that had the turn order.
Yeah.
Demons I think are thought of to be sort of shadowy agents of some of the darker gods of the pantheon.
Mm-hmm.
So possibly agents of Komara, the god of fear, or possibly even whispers of Mazad, the god of calamity. I'm sure there's some other ones that could summon demons of certain types.
So in the shower,
They're not
demon
well
blood-
thought of.
Yeah. Okay. So Manny doesn't feel any second guesses as the
No.
blood of these demons sprays all over him, and he like turns. It's one of those things where like like the heat is rising off him, like it's like steaming as he's covered in this like black ichor of or ichor of the demonic blood, and like turns to look at the other ones, and just like steam comes out of his nose. And that's his turn.
Sick.
The
They
Kill
will
Bill
now-
music sounds.
They will now attack you. Each one is going to make 2 attacks, one with its bite and one with its claws. So I'm going to make some GM rolls.
Damn, 2 attacks at level 1?
He killed each of them in 1 hit.
That's true.
That's what I'm good at.
That's my attack to hit.
So we know
Yes,
they have
okay.
less than 11 hit points.
That's a
Stop it, Joe.
dirty 20 on the first attack.
It hits.
A dirty 20 on the second attack.
Also hits.
A 5 on the third attack.
Weirdly misses.
Huh, how about that? And a 9.
Also misses.
Okay, so we've got 1 bite, 1 claw. So we will do some damage.
Which I will resist.
No,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm raging,
Impo-
man.
impossible.
Bludgeoning, slashing,
mad.
piercing.
GM roll. I got 9 damage coming your way
Total?
total.
Okay. If
some
I
of it
resist, is that
is-
round down, or what do I take if I'm resisting? Is it 5 or 4?
We always played round down, but
I would
That's what
round
I
down.
thought.
You round down, but
It's
it's
up to-
each one is rounded down.
correct. Yeah, you'd want them individually to actually get your resistance.
Well, probably one's 5,
accurate.
one's 4, so then...
Sure. So it's 4 piercing
2 and
and
2.
5 slashing.
Yeah, so 2 and 2.
Okay.
So I'm done to... If Manny had to quantify how healthy he felt, it's like a good 10 out of 14 scale.
Great.
All right.
It is now Vera's turn.
Yep. Vera is. What's the maximum I can move again? Is it
30.
feet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Probably
It's
30.
on your character sheet. You have a speed.
It's almost always 30.
Not for a Herringon.
Almost.
Yeah, it is 30 for a
always.
Herringon.
Yeah, but you can move so much.
Cool. I will move up to there to support Manny, and then Vera is going to cast Blast at the person directly, the demon directly in front.
Okay.
What are you casting? Sorry.
Eldritch
me.
Blast.
Okay.
A common
Yeah.
warlock spell.
Started blasting.
Alright, anyways, I just started blasting. Let me go back to the page, and I should be able to click on it.
Greg, can you describe how your Eldritch Blasts manifest? You
That's a
shooting?
cool
It's
question.
force damage, right? So
It's force, yeah. So the way that I know that the description is like it's a beam of like crackling energy, right? Like that's like
Yeah.
what the
Yeah,
description
but
says.
it
I
can be
think the way,
whatever you want.
pretty vague.
Yeah,
It's a pretty vague
but I think-
description.
but I think the way that it works for Vera, well, I guess it's a 14 hit.
A 14 hits.
So Vera usually wears a hood up to cover her kind of snake hair, and I think as she's rushing in, she like uses her hand to push the hood off of her head, but she's also kind of slicking back her hair, and so what happens is the snakes come alive and like have almost like a halo crown around her as she's running forward, and all of their eyes are purple, right? It's like black snakes with purple eyes, and they all at once like open their mouths, and these purple beams just shoot out of all of them.
Hell
from around
yeah.
her shoulders, and like kind of like the Death Star, right? It's like a pointed
Yeah.
laser goes forward and smacks into that seat.
Very turned on
Demon.
right now.
You should be. And
Why do all of your attacks have to be so sexual?
Because I am who I am. So it's
French.
1d10 force damage.
Yes.
That's right.
If you click Eldritch Blast in the text chat, yeah, it'll roll.
It should say the damage actually.
Oh.
Yeah, underneath it. Yeah, it's fine.
Oh, well, anyways, it's 8.
Yeah.
8 force damage.
You obliterate this demon.
Yeah, I think it's just like a, and then it just hits the head of the sea demon in front of me.
I think most of the cool sounds you just made were cut out by the sound floor.
Yeah, I didn't hear
No.
anything you
It was
you
very
made.
silent, but it's okay.
No.
Nothing.
Nothing.
No,
So
all
I
right,
see
well,
you
I
doing
hate
it, but
this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The facial expressions that
I'm
make
great.
those sounds.
I'm gonna assume it was a ka-chow.
Yeah.
It was
Quinn,
yeah,
you're up
yeah,
next.
All right.
That's it.
Ruler.
I almost regret raging on this one.
I'll move.
Yeah,
Yeah,
faster than
I
that,
did
right?
not use my good spells yet. I was like, this is gonna be over so fast.
I'm gonna move
I
here.
didn't know. I thought it was like, oh, like I mean, between 3 of them, but yeah.
So you guys remember the gun that Zoe uses in Firefly? Like
Absolutely.
the
I
short
do.
rifle.
Yeah.
So that's basically what Quintillion has.
Oh, yeah.
The like lever action short rifle. So
Love
he's gonna run into the room. He's gonna do a little dive and kind of land on his knees and ready a shot and fire with
Okay.
his
Through Manny.
his light rifle.
No, he's gonna
that's-
curve the bullet.
No, yeah, I curve the bullet, Angelina Jolie style. I am clicking on every wrong window.
Well, don't do that.
That's a 10 to hit.
A 10.
You can really just fire through me without any issue.
Yeah.
absolutely, 100%.
Shit.
Curved
If-
bullet.
If I was a rogue, I would also get sneak attack on this.
You take up, a 5-foot space, but most of that's like empty space. Maybe
you
not in
did,
your
You
case.
did miss.
I'm
I
very
apologize.
Well,
Yeah, you
my
are
very
rogue.
cool turn is over.
It looked
It looked
cool.
cool. It looked great.
It looked
Did
awesome.
look great. Yeah. James McAvoy was there for some reason.
Yeah.
Wanai.
So Wanai is not gonna sprint run. He's going to take his
Meander.
time
He's gonna slowly
move.
slowly amble.
behind, right next to Quintilius, and throw a javelin. Just pulls one off his back, like
That hits.
straight lines it.
Yep.
Mhm.
That hits.
4
Wait,
piercing.
Are you Are your spears the spikes you have on your shell, or are they actual spears? Like, are you throwing your?
I was throwing a javelin. I'm not pulling parts of my carapace off and throwing them.
Yeah, I just didn't know if
Yes.
that was like.
Yeah.
Unless
that
I
was
can
part of your-
regrow them, in that in which
No,
case
that's what I
would
meant. That's what I
like to
meant.
do that.
I didn't know if that was part of your character.
I would love that, but that's not. Doesn't seem realistic. But anyway, yeah, hooking a javelin.
Not for a javelin. That kills it. They have an incredibly low health.
I'd like to think that it like hits it in the chest and it flies against the back wall behind Manny,
pins
and then he
them.
gets an attack of opportunity as it goes away.
It's dead before he would get an attack.
His opportunity is death.
Yeah.
Well, I would say that we all contributed to that fight exactly the same.
Manny's like,
Good job,
I got
everyone.
about 50 more seconds of being angry, so where's something else to kill?
I lean down towards Quintilius. 1-0.
Well, nah.
I think like
Whispered.
Well,
there's
nah.
like
It's
like
not.
a sign.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say there's like Vera looks to the right and there's like a sign and it's like the sea demon orphanage for rehabilitated children.
It's like no, it's bring your sea demon sons or children to work.
It's a work day. Yeah.
One of you will go collect the javelin from the corpse. By the way,
I'll allow it.
I don't have a lot of those.
I'm gonna take an attack for opportunity and moves out of my threatened square.
Yeah.
Jokes.
We're allies.
I'm kidding. Are we?
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
You'd miss.
I'm not gonna rush. I'm not gonna rush into the other room. I'm just gonna let my rage.
No,
kind
you
of burn
should.
out, probably.
You should just do it. We should just
Yeah, I'm
Run
rushing
through-
to the room.
we
What
can
do you mean?
we can speed
Run
run.
If
train.
you are, I mean, yeah, okay. So Manny just runs right. He's
Yeah.
pissed off. He's run.
you got
Oh,
50
okay.
seconds of rage left.
We're running
Yeah,
right,
might as
got it.
well.
I know. And we're towards Anthony. So this is my. I have 10 rounds, and this is round 2. of rage.
Okay. Let me.
I love this
areas.
because it is literally a charging bull scenario.
Yeah.
This is like
Very funny.
it's
We gotta-
very good.
Okay.
We
I
gotta
was gonna
stay
ask
away
if we
from
could go
them
to the-
China shops.
I was gonna
I
ask
had-
if we could go to the bathroom.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, we could. Yeah. Okay.
Let's take a
run
quick
to-
pause. Intermission.
Pause for murder.
Pause for murder.
And we are back.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Okay, so Manny the Minotaur is charging in, and I will
Yeah, we're
open
still
up
on
this.
turn 2, so he's gonna burst through the door and move another 30 feet.
Okay.
Oh, hell yeah. We guessed right.
Speed running the dungeon.
You called that
It,
right.
it is a very simple dungeon.
Don't move, Vera. We're in turn-based. We're in turn orders.
You're level 1. Let me describe what we've got going on here. This
Glad
appears
that he
to
didn't
be.
charge through the para. By the way, that would have been really bad.
I'm very glad you didn't murder her immediately.
Anyway, sorry. Continue.
This appears to be some sort of a throne room with a raised dais where we've got over here. In front of you is a glass box holding para over bubbling water that is surrounded by magic circles and candles floating in small bowls. There's a lever on the side of the box that will allow her captor to dunk the victim into the water to drown. Standing behind Para, you see. Here, I'll make the token big so we can see it.
Just gotta zoom in. Whoa.
No, I'm just making it big real quick. What you see is the acolyte of the temple that you saw earlier speaking with the village druid. And next to her is a toad of some sort.
A druid-sized toad?
A toad-sized toad.
Huh.
She appears to be muttering to herself, and Manny, that is not something that you are in a headspace to hear.
Again, I did preface before. I was like, oh, I'll just. You wouldn't pay attention, but out of my player curiosities, where is this lever? It's up on the dais.
Yeah, it's up next to
Okay.
the acolyte here.
Well,
On the
kinda
dais,
forced
on
us
the
into
dais.
turn-
Can you do the fandang?
I have forced us into turn order by maintaining my rage. So I think technically, I don't know how you want to do anything if we want to maintain our previous rolls, if you want to give them rolls, but technically it would be Vera's turn after me, I think.
Sure. Let me roll for our.
'Cause that might
new
let cooler
guest.
heads prevail.
Hey, we'll see.
And it's still on my turn order in the.
Yeah, that's true. It'll. But Anthony can advance that.
Actually, I can just make these publicly. Slash roll. Excuse me. Just an even 20. Killing it.
That frog.
Love
doesn't know what's
a
going-
1.
They were not expecting a bull to charge into this room.
They were not. Okay, so Manny, you have moved.
I double moved, so that's my full turn.
Double moved. So it is Vera's turn.
I'm almost close enough to
Yes.
use my goring horns to kill Para.
We're so close.
So close.
Guess I can just make it into the room.
Okay.
I
What is
am.
Vera here too?
What?
Because you might hear the muttering that the priestess.
Yeah,
is doing.
I think. Yeah, can I roll a perception or something to see if I can hear the muttering?
I think let me describe a little bit more of the room
Yeah, please.
to
Yeah,
your.
what does Vera see in my sober state of mind?
Yes. So yeah, I described all of that already. Is there more? Yeah, we got the throne that she's sitting on here with the lever next to it. You've got this, which is sort of like a pool that is kind of raised up. The rest of the room appears to be built for like receiving grand audiences, as one on a throne might be. The walls appear to be tiled all in mosaic, and yeah, I think. Why don't you make a perception roll,
Sure.
Vera? This doesn't count as your action.
20.
Whoa. You hear the acolyte muttering to herself on the throne, and she is saying to herself, I've already killed 2. Will their deaths be in vain? Next to her, her toad gives a sort of like a bored ribbit.
Hmm. I am too far to use any of my combat effectively, so instead, Vera is going to try to convince the acolyte to stop, and shout at her menacingly.
You should be in
and
range
so I
for
think
Eldritch Blast,
Eldritch
right?
Blast,
But-
absolutely.
But do whatever you want. But
Right.
I'm gonna try to intimidate this
hell yeah.
I think it's a good call.
person first.
Okay.
And I think, quite with a lot of nuance. I think Vera, is in and says, "Oi, stop
Weista."
fucking about," and that's it.
French.
And I'll try to intimidate her. 11 maybe won't do it.
Yeah.
I think they would be like very distracted by Manny bursting through the door, and then like you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
It ruins the dramatic effect that you're trying
little
to bring
bit.
here. Well.
Yeah, so that is ineffective. She sort of like looks past this charging minotaur at the angry gorgon who has also entered the room, and is just sort of confused about what's happening right now.
Is she aroused though?
Boy, on a 20 perception,
Kinda.
no, I don't think that she is. I think that she is a little bit weighed down with this sort of maybe moral quandary that she's experiencing, and so I think the
Yeah.
arousal level is a little bit low.
We hate Toad. We get it. Cool. That's Vera's turn.
All right.
Well, I guess that's all I can move. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Oh, I don't know why. How's that work? Okay. Quinn.
All right, I'm gonna move up directly behind Vera. I'm gonna do a little strumming on my lute. I would like to give Manny some bardic inspiration.
Heard of it.
Okay.
Well, now, Manny, I know you can get the job done. And then I would like to turn my attention to the priestess, the acolyte.
Yeah.
I'm turning my attention to the acolyte, and I'm gonna say something along the lines of female acolyte.
Yes.
Okay. Well, now, ma'am, I don't know if you've been around these parts for long, but have you heard the legend of the mind goblin?
Oh, no.
And I'm casting vicious mockery.
Yikes.
Can I get a DC 12 spell save, please?
Yeah. What am I? What skill am I rolling?
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
Sure.
I have a feeling that's a good one for the priestess.
Probably,
Could say.
but
Anthony has been rolling badly.
true.
Your spell is ineffective. Can you describe how you try to viciously mock her?
Well,
Sorry,
I
before
say, have you heard the Legend of the Mind Goblin? And she just ignores me.
Yeah, that works.
Because
That
if
was
she
easy
if
to
she
play.
failed, she would ask what that is, and
Right.
then the punchline would fall. But
I think that as these increasingly odd characters continue to storm into her room, she then hears a joke that she's heard 1,000 times and just sort of rolls her eyes. And next we have Wanai.
All right. As a bonus action,
Oh wait,
No.
with the toad rolled a 10. Would it be before 1 IE? Then?
Oh, yeah.
sorry,
Oh, you're right.
not to cut you off there, Nick.
you're good.
Keeping it honest. Who speaks toad?
Yeah, anybody speak Toad?
I speak Elvish,
awesome.
which is almost the same thing.
Nope.
If you can speak Minotaur, it's like a romance language. You can kind of make out what most of the other animals are saying.
You kind of figure it out.
Pretty sure Controlling can speak with animals at some point.
The Toad is going to hold a legendary action and pass its
No.
turn. No.
I could have taken Speak with Animals, yes.
I don't even think you can hold legendary actions.
It was a joke, Nick. No, the Toad is going to do nothing this turn.
All right.
Now it's One Eye's turn.
One Eye
You
is
get
just
a
going-
bonus action
No,
before
not
your
even-
regular action.
I'm not even going to use it. I'm just going to use my action as a dash and put myself between Para. Para? No.
Para.
Yep.
Uh,
yeah.
So that.
I got
So the
60 feet.
problem
I
is,
got
remember
60 feet of movement.
she's
a
remember though, that
cage.
she's yes in a cage above water. So like
Yep.
yeah. Okay.
Yep. I'm putting myself there.
Right, but you cannot go directly through that square. You have to go around it.
She's. Oh. Okay. I
Yes,
guess
you have to
I'll
go
just-
next to her basically.
Right. That's fine.
Here, let me.
He could go there. That was a clean line.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's it. That's my turn. I have my sword and shield equipped.
And now it is our acolyte's turn.
I get a feeling this is not how you thought this encounter was going to play out, Anthony.
It's probably supposed to be talking first, maybe.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I'm not threatening them. I'm just, as I walk by her, I'm more concerned about her than them, genuinely.
that's fine. Yeah, the sort of decision paths in the pre-written that I'm following do not account for Minotaur just charges in. Everybody else follows, trying to do various psychological attacks.
That's not pre-written. That's a real
But none
oversight.
of them are like, none of them feel as attacks. They're all, yeah.
I mean, I think if this acolyte had any magical knowledge, she would recognize Vicious Mockery. Like
That's
I did
true.
I did attempt to
agree.
cast Vicious Mockery.
That's true.
You cast it. She just mentally.
Yeah, it's true. I did actively cast Vicious Mockery.
You
She
did.
just-
Mhm.
She
That's a
just
very
didn't
good
fall
point.
for the D's nuts joke.
She was not intimidated by a Cockney accent.
Not even a little bit.
Oi, bruv. If you want to buy some time, Anthony, you can have a dramatic monologue. It is a 10 Central, 11 Eastern.
That's true. But we also started a little late. I don't know how you guys are feeling.
Friday night.
I'm down to play a little bit longer and finish this out.
Same. It's
Cool.
Friday.
I think what she's going to do is she's going to cast magic missile on.
Whoa.
No, she's going to make a spell attack on our good friend Wanai here. Currently the closest. I'm gonna go GM roll here. See if this hits. Yeah. So I think that she charges a beam of magic in her left hand and forces it forward. It's a
Kamehameha wave, yep. Classic.
no, just with her left hand. Kamehameha wave uses 2. It is a crackling purple burst that emits from her hand and skews wide of Wanai. She is clearly distracted by all of these sudden intruders, and it connects with the wall far behind.
Sorry.
Can it veer off the shell?
I was wondering what hideous laughter did, so thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And I think that she will more readily, like not readily, but not as mutteringly. This is not aiding in my decision-making process. And we're back to the Minotaur in a rage.
This will not determine my action, but I'm just curious. So there's magical circles around the glass cage, right?
Yes.
Would someone with magical knowledge get the sense that they can't, like, it's like would keep you out, like a circle of protection kind of thing? I can't make this roll. I'm just asking.
Somebody with magical knowledge could try to see if that's what it's about.
Yeah, I thought it was, would Manny have the wherewithal to try to get the cage down, but I think he sees that little fucking frog, this little punky frog. He just wants to punt it. I think.
Yeah, you're in a rage anyways, right?
Yeah,
So-
I can't make any of those decisions. I just want to see.
Do not forget about
he-
your bardic inspiration. It's a D6.
Oh yes, thank you.
Rage doesn't
like,
make you like that crazy or anything.
Can't do
but-
concentration.
I'm
stuff,
sticking
right?
with character though, but you can't make certain skill checks and stuff. So
Right.
he's gonna just leap up here, and my warhammer's slightly stronger, so he's just gonna pound this frog, pound that frog.
Wow.
Let's pound that frog.
Did you drop your
Mhm.
shield or
I probably should. Yeah, he's gonna. Actually, no, because I'm hurt. I'm gonna keep my shield. And just one-handed hammer.
I think-
What can you remember what Bardic Inspiration does?
You add a
The
D6
To
Before
damage?
you roll,
to its attack roll.
after
Yep.
you've learned the result even?
Mhm. As you approach the toad, it's not legendary, but it did hold an action. And as you approach, it disappears.
Well, good thing I didn't declare my attack on the toad.
So hold on, invisibility. You still can definitely attack. It's just at disadvantage.
Yeah, that's
Right.
fine. But I think, Manny would see the frog is gone and she's there, and they're standing right next to her. He's gonna hit the priestess. So, frog can be invisible. That's fine. Let's swing at that priestess.
Nick, you don't know if
Warhammer.
it's invisibility. It could be Misty Step.
I rolled an 11.
I'm just saying you can still attack where it is.
It's a D6 to the attack roll.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you get to find out if you failed or not.
Oh, before I add it.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I assume 11 failed.
It didn't. No.
Oh,
That
then never
hit
mind.
her.
I retract that. That
Keep
D6 then.
keep your inspiration.
Take that inspiration back.
Okay. It is 7 bludgeoning damage and 2 rage damage, so 7 total. I say 5 damage
Okay.
bludgeoning, 2 rage.
Yeah, you hit her with your hammer. She is clearly more of a spellcaster type, and
don't say.
it visibly hurts her, and she is shocked, enraged. I think she kind of like falls into the throne a little bit.
Manny is again another snort of his out of his nostrils. He is not playing games.
No,
And I'll pass the turn.
Vera.
Yeah, so just to recap the current situation,
Let's recap, shall we?
Para is in the glass case or cage or whatever.
Yeah.
Is she conscious or is she?
Oh, that's a
Like-
good question.
Yeah, is she like?
Add her to the initiative.
It doesn't specify. I'm gonna say that she is unconscious.
Unconscious. Okay. And there's a lever that could drop her into the boiling stuff, and then the frog is now invisible, and Manny has just bludgeoned the acolyte. That's the current state of.
You do not know where the toad is.
But he's invisible or disappeared somehow. Like
The toad is not where it was.
right. Okay.
What did we see? Oh, no, not my turn.
And I can't. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna try on my first action to see if I can perceive where the the toad is. I'd like to try to locate toad. So roll for toad somehow. What would you say about how that would work? Like, could I roll like an Arcana check to see? Because there's clearly some kind of magical.
Greg, I have a spell that can reveal it if it's there.
Really?
If you would like to do something else, that's what I'm going to do on my turn.
Well, I can also hold my turn until you've done yours, right? And then I could.
You
Right.
can't in 5e. You
Not in
can
5e, actually.
you can use your reaction to ready your
You can
action.
ready actions. Yeah, you can't hold.
So you'd lose your reaction, but you could
And
be
your
like,
action.
if the toad is revealed.
Already in action.
Okay, so you
I'm-
need a trigger word or a trigger for your action.
Like when the toad is becomes
When the
visible.
when the
Or
toad
you
becomes
become aware
visible,
of it.
I blank or
Cool.
yeah.
Yes. So,
When
so
I'm aware
Vera
of the
Vera is
toad.
going to move just next to Para, like hereish, and then I will ready an action when the location. Let me rephrase that. Once the toad is identified, once the location of the toad is identified, I will take my action.
Like,
Great.
when toad.
When toad, I do.
When toad, action happen.
if toad.
Very good. That makes it Quinn's turn.
All right, I'm gonna move up a little bit, not like too far into the room, and then I will cast Fairy Fire.
Ooh,
Yeah.
So
I
my
always forget about Fairy
20-foot
Fire.
cube. Unfortunately, Manny, you are going to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's fine.
You can handle
20,
heat.
Oh, wait, hang
20
on.
foot cube. Oh, just because you can't cast it quite like a little further.
Well, I
20 foot
want
cube is not very big, you know.
I want to hit the spaces where the toad could be.
Sure. Oh, you don't
Mine-
think
oh,
you
wait,
think
actually-
you think it moved? Because it was a readied action that it turned invisible, so it has. It
Yeah,
hasn't had a chance
but
to move yet. All right.
It's no, it's this
That's
one. The pink one.
The pink one.
Everyone needs to make everyone in that area
yeah.
needs to make a dex save. DC 12.
18.
Yeah, so you can
hey.
make a DC 12. It's fine. I just need
Rolling
the
pretty well.
acolyte and the toad to fail.
Got a 50-50 chance.
Acolyte fails.
If the toad succeeds, it's very bad because then Greg also loses.
It's
Fear's
okay.
turn.
The way that this has been phrased, I'm just gonna part the curtain. If the toad was there, I would have to say the toad makes it, but the toad's not there.
Okay, so
yeah.
only
So,
only
I understand.
the
the toad is not revealed, is what you could tell us.
The
Yeah.
toad is not revealed.
I hate when
You
the
tried to
toad's
you
not
tried to
revealed.
trick me linguistically. It won't work.
conveniently now, all attacks on the acolyte have advantage.
Nice.
It is pretty convenient.
It's too bad that the frog's the real mastermind.
Well, the thing is, my action is still relevant if the frog reveals itself.
Also
Until
true.
your turn. Absolutely true.
This is true.
That's your whole turn.
That is my
Fairyfire?
whole turn.
Okay.
Oh, I will
What, is there
give
damage
bardic.
or anything?
No,
No,
I will
it just
give-
creates advantage.
I'll give my last bardic inspiration to Wanai.
Nice,
Sick.
good choice.
Good.
Frog's turn.
Yeah.
About to get blasted.
So anyway,
It's about to get
Blast that
blasted.
toad.
That's what I want to do
Let's
on
blast
That's
this
what I
toad.
want to do on a Friday night. Fucking blasted
Get
toad.
blasted toad. It actually sounds like a pretty good beer. I'd drink a blasted toad.
A blasted toad.
Blasted, that sounds like a porter.
It does sound like a porter.
there is a magical shimmer within the area that the toad was, and this is the same token as before. I forgot that I needed sea demon tokens, so don't at me. The shape of a different kind of demon erupts from where the toad was.
Well, that actually doesn't trigger you then.
Much larger and more bestial than any kind of toad-like
I'm
creature.
triggered. I'm just not triggering
triggered.
what I need.
Correct. And it is going to attack this minotaur.
Do not worry about that. The buttons
Don't-
are very small on Roll20.
They are. So it's going to claw at you, sir.
Mhm.
Get that advantage.
Not advantage. I made my save, if that's what you're talking about.
Does a 20 hit your AC?
It does.
You're actually
Great.
threatened within 5 feet, so they do get.
Wouldn't it? No, isn't flanking? You have to. It's not if you're just.
It's not
in
back in
front,
front.
Is it?
Nope.
Oh my
Not in
god.
5e.
5e so
It's-
broken.
It's
Well,
threatened
There's so many
within
things that
5
make me
feet.
mad about 5e.
Flanking and threatened are
Got it.
flanking is an optional rule in 5e, but that is how the optional rule is worded.
Got it.
And I believe we are playing with flanking.
That makes
We
sense.
are. Okay, I'm going to deal 7 damage to you.
Okay, round down to 3.
And then I would like you, sir, to please make a Constitution saving throw.
Fuck.
Sick.
Can I add my bardic inspiration to that?
You can.
You sure
I'm
can.
Definitely
Yeah.
gonna do that.
Ooh. Okay.
Fuck, 11.
Nope, that's fine. You make it.
Thank God we're level.
Very nice.
So nothing happens.
No. Yep, you made the save. Well done.
You're not afraid anymore. You're not.
I think that is its turn. Lanai.
So as when I sees Manny getting attacked, he saw it a little bit before. and sees it more now. When I use rage is not voluntary, it is involuntary, and so you just see him get real more angry, head straight up, and I will take a longsword attack at the lady.
Ooh.
14, I assume, misses.
And you have
I'm
bardic
going to use a bardic
inspiration?
inspiration. Actually,
Yeah.
No, 14
would-
does not miss the.
No, 14 won't miss.
14
the
doesn't
lady, I don't
miss.
think.
Yeah.
But and you get advantage because we're flanking, right?
that's the 14. Yep.
Got it.
Yep. Yeah, that hits.
Okay. Beep. Beep. 7. 5 slashing and 2 rage damage.
Yeah. Great. So what happens here is you describe how you
So you see him get real angry, come up and just. I got a shield in the hand and a longsword in the other, and it's just a long slash across the midsection.
sick.
Unless she's dead,
Um,
in which case her head
think
is
that's what
now
he used.
gone.
What?
Yeah, no, I don't
You,
think she's
you
dead.
can't you have to tell me how you kill her.
That's what he was asking.
Well,
He slashes her in the midsection, and her head falls off. It's not that hard, Anthony.
That's right. Just
I'm
theater
just
of the
struggling
mind,
with
Anthony.
the physics here.
You ever been punched on in the stomach? Your head just falls off.
I
Can
hate
you
it when
please
that
describe
happens.
how you kill?
No,
this
I would
acolyte?
actually would like to slice her essentially in half, but she doesn't just like slide and fall over. She kind of splits in half and falls backwards. You know what I mean? Like I cut her in the torso, like a hinge.
Ooh.
Oh,
That's
sure. I mean, she was blown back against a chair, so she was like already sitting down.
Maybe he cuts the chair half
Also,
a bit too. Yeah,
The chair's made of stone.
it's very impressive.
It was a.
Okay, so you're cutting her across the midsection,
mm-hmm.
and her body falls backward. And yeah, and that is when the fucking Dark Souls boss music starts playing.
Oh.
The fog door closes up
yeah.
behind us.
Yeah. From
Is that
out
the
of
hole?
her midsection
Oh,
erupts
no.
this draconic form. I'm actually gonna make this one double-sized.
It's large.
A dragon head erupts where the human head should be. 2 clawed arms form, as well as 1 wing off to the side. It's not like a complete transformation. This looks like it is maybe a ritual that was missing a component. Who knows?
Like one dead tavern owner.
Who
Wench.
who
Yeah.
knows?
Oh, we're not gonna call
One
her
tavern
a
wench.
wench. She's a professional.
Professional wench.
I'm gonna
That's Saki.
I think it's
it's
Pellegrino.
Pellegrino.
Oh,
Italian sake.
Italian sake. Hell yeah.
Hmm.
I think risotto is Italian sake.
Okay, so I'm gonna add this one then to the turn order.
my turn is done, by the way.
So is the transformed thing affected by fairy fire?
Oh, that's a good question.
Concentration up to 1 minute.
Yeah, I don't
Fuck.
like the rules.
Why did that?
Oh, she's
Oh,
dead.
We did it.
We
For
did
the
it.
duration.
You did, Joe.
Oh,
Yeah, it says for the duration.
yeah.
I guess
we'll say
I'm
we'll
affe-
say
I'm-
yes.
I'm
Okay.
affected by it too. Then at that point, wouldn't I be?
No, it's only if you're when you're casted when you're in it.
Okay.
You are fine because you have entered it afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, the fog door is up. The Dark Souls music is playing.
Fuck
And-
door.
Now there's a monster in the room. Is that the end of your turn, Wenai?
Yes, yes.
Cool. It is conveniently this dragon beast's turn next. And I think that it would probably attack the thing that killed its human form first. That makes sense.
Oh yeah, that makes
Tracks.
perfect sense.
Yeah. So the first thing that she will do is swipe at Wanai with her claws.
I don't like how you said the first thing. That implies things.
And I get advantage because the demon is there. Does a 20 hit your AC?
It does,
Ah, that's great.
just barely.
Just barely. Oh, that's right. You have
I have,
turtle high.
I have 19 AC.
Oh.
Oof. That's a hard shell.
Plus that. It's going to be 6 damage.
Slashing, piercing, bludgeoning.
Slashing damage with the claw.
3 damage.
Okay. And then it will make a second attack also on Wanai. She's gonna turn and swing, try to bat you with her one wing.
Okay.
Do some Sephiroth shit. Yes. Okay. How about a 16?
Miss.
Wow.
Nice.
Very hard to hit. Okay. That is its turn. Manny.
Back to Manny, huh? Has the demon been dealt damage?
Not yet. Oh, I can get rid of that.
I think it's one of those things where he saw when he cut the priestess, the demon appeared, the demon hit him, and he's gonna just try to smash it. I am going to drop my shield, so I have to remember to adjust my armor class. Actually, I'll remember it. It's fine. Shield down.
You guys use the little 3 dots above your characters? I do green as my current health, blue as my armor class. So when Anthony clicks on us, he can see those numbers.
That's probably a good call.
Red is usually temporary hit points is how.
Which one are you attacking, Michael?
The demon.
The demon, and you have advantage.
Do. So a 15.
A 15 does hit.
Great. That's going to be 12 damage together.
Wow.
10 bludgeoning and
That's
2 rage.
So much damage.
I've rolled really high on my damage rolls.
2-handers.
Yeah.
Please
Versatile
describe
weapons.
how you kill the demon.
Yeah,
Oh my god, I can't even do
demon-
my cool shit. That's so sad.
The frog was never going to reappear, Greg.
Maybe it has to now.
Yeah, that's true. So the demon, I think, stabbed at Manny and left a gash, and he just again dropped the shield, took the hammer, and just splatted it right down.
Yeah.
Meant to do it to the
Love
frog,
that.
but just right into the floor.
Splat it like a toad. Gone.
Awesome.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll stay here. I mean, for dramatic effect, maybe he'll step up to the dragon, but that's only for dramatic effect.
Okay. Vera finally gets a turn.
Has the toad revealed itself?
No, not yet. We're still waiting.
No, that's sad. Alright.
There's another frog in the
God.
room.
That's a good attempt.
That sounds like an entry in the freaking Guilty Gear. The toad reveals
The
itself.
toad reveals
I-
itself.
Can I roll some kind of a check to see if there's something I can do to block the lever's mechanism so that it would stop it from dropping into the boiling water? Like for example, could I use my scythe to jam the gear
Yeah.
or something, like something that like is preventative.
Let's roll investigation on that.
So I guess that's like a bonus act or like a free action, I guess, right? Like an investigate. It's not like an action, or is this my action for that turn?
I'd call
So
this an action.
I would call this an
Technically,
action.
I would
Okay.
say, well, hold on. I would say if you just say, I want to jam my scythe in so that they can't pull the lever, that's an interact action. But you have to just do it. You're not like checking before.
Right.
So
Maybe
it's up to you.
Nancy
You could-
throws
you could
in
either-
athletics or something to see if you do it accurately, but
right. So that's the
Right.
thing. Is do you want to just try to do it, or do you want to like spend the time to see? That's kind of like you're trading off action for
I'll
knowledge.
spend the time. I mean, there's nothing else. I can't see this enemy anyways. There's not really much else I can do at this point. So I will
You can-
look.
what do you mean
for
you
you
can't
can
see
see
the
the giant
The
dragon.
giant dragon's right in
thing
front of you.
That's
Isn't it
attacked
dead?
me.
No.
The giant dragon. No,
No.
she died and the dragon burst out of her. That was the whole thing. This whole giant
Yeah,
dragon
but
thing is.
I thought you just killed the dragon. I thought.
No, I smashed the demon.
Yes.
That the toad became a demon. I smashed the demon.
Oh, I thought the she became a demon. Oh, I missed.
No,
I
she became a
missed-
dragon. Common
Okay,
misconception.
I misheard what happened. That makes
Sorry.
way more sense. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then never mind. I will.
There is
not
now
be
a
doing that.
hulking dragon monster form,
Yeah.
and no
Love that.
more,
So hot right now. Okay.
no more frog demon.
It's hot
Yeah,
dragon
okay.
summer up in
This
here.
is very, very good. So what I'm going to do, therefore,
This changes everything.
this changes everything. Okay. Okay. I'm going to use. Okay. Yes, I know what I'm going to do. Okay. I could use a bonus action at any point in my turn, right?
Whenever you feel like it.
Great. As a bonus action, I'm going to cast. Oh, actually, before I do that, if I have a component pouch, we're assuming that I have the components to cast certain spells.
As long
There's
as it
nothing-
doesn't cost money.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't. Okay, great. Perfect. I'm going to cast Hex on the dragon.
Okay.
So, with Hex, I place a curse on a creature that I can see within range. Until the spell ends, I deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage to the target whenever I hit it with an attack. I also choose an ability when I cast the spell. The target has disadvantage on ability checks made with the chosen ability.
Okay.
So that's checks it makes, right? Like if it's going to do like a strength check or something, that's what I'm picking, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to do a disadvantage on dexterity checks.
Wisdom.
for-
Wisdom.
Oh, I just hear a voice, a bardic inspiration out of
Wisdom.
nowhere. I'm hearing wisdom. It seems to be the right option.
Sorry, I had something stuck in my throat.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. So okay, disadvantage on wisdom checks. That's fine.
How does Hex
so I'll use
work?
that-
Does it just happen?
It's a
Just
bonus
happens.
action. It just happens. Yes.
Just happens. So I think
He uses a first level spell slot for it, though.
Yes, I do. But so I think Vera points and her eyes glow like that same violet color that the snakes on her hair are, and there's this like aura now that is visible to Vera that the dragon has this hex on it. With my action, I
Shows
am
up in
going
your HUD.
to yeah. I am going to run up the stairs to said dragon. And oh, you know what? Actually, no. I'm gonna chain something together. I'm gonna stay where I am, and I'm going to use a cantrip as my action called True Strike.
Okay.
So, I point at the dragon. I get a brief insight into the target's defenses, and on my next turn, I'll gain advantage on my first attack roll on that target. So it'll give me advantage next turn, but I want to understand what its defenses are, and like maybe it has a weak point.
What's it called? True Sight?
True Strike.
True Strike. Oh, there it is. Okay.
So what can
Yeah,
you
it
tell
looks
me?
like it looks like it's the dragon portion is pretty heavily scaled. It looks like it might have weaker points on the still human portion
Which is what?
The legs.
below the belt.
Below the belt. Okay.
I'm sure there's also like some weird fleshy patches up around in the dragon body.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay,
Cool.
is that your turn?
That's my turn.
Those fleshy patches, they glowing red like a video game boss.
Not yet.
They got a target lock. There's an L target lock
Right.
prompt.
Quinn.
All right, I'm going to kind of move around a little bit, and I'm gonna look at the dragon, and I'm gonna the half dragon.
Dragon monster.
And I would like to cast Hideous Laughter
Oh.
No.
as a first level spell.
Okay.
The Tasha's hideous laughter.
I believe they removed Tasha's from
None.
it.
Lame.
I was about to say non-denomination.
Non-denominational Hideous Laughter.
Lame.
I would like a Wisdom saving throw, please.
With disadvantage.
And I would also like to look at it and say, sorry, what kind of creature did you turn into?
I thought you were just gonna finish your vicious mockery and just say goblin these nuts.
My goblin these nuts.
Oh dear.
I got a 13.
God damn it.
Oh.
Sorry, mate.
Save or suck. It's saved. That is my turn.
Great. One eye.
In a rage, swing, 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 swing away. The 7 hit.
We got bad news about sevens.
I'm gonna use my bardic inspiration.
I've got 11 of them.
11?
11?
7-11.
Did Joe give all of you bardic
No,
inspiration?
it was just me.
Just me
I got
and-
one.
I got
and-
one.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I accidentally used mine when I didn't. I
Right.
wouldn't have. So
You do not hit.
Okay. My turn is over.
Great.
Level 1, baby.
Love it. I will attack the Minotaur this time.
okay, I have lowered defense because I dropped my shield.
Good. Wing strike. Oh, I don't have advantage anymore.
No.
Lame. Does it 8 hit?
No.
How about an 8?
What is that? There's been so many duplicate like
Like
rolls.
a lot of them.
Yeah.
That is the end of my boss battle's very cool turn. Thank you for playing. Manny, it's you.
Well,
You haven't hit it. It hasn't hit you.
No, I'm tempted to grab it. I kind of want to grapple this. Has
That's
it been
not-
talking as it's been in dragon form, or does it seem monstrous?
It seems more monstrous right now.
Don't want to get into grapple rules. You know what? We'll make it easy. I'm just gonna whack it. But I kind of want to
Okay.
capture it. But Manny's angry. It took his new friend, who he hasn't actually interacted with.
Okay,
it's a
Sora.
two-handed warhammer. Yeah. How about an 18?
That is a hit.
That is 7 damage total. 5 bludgeoning, 2 extra rage damage.
Got it. Okay,
My turn.
very good. Vera.
Okay. You ready? This is my engine that's starting to rev up. So,
Yeah, we'll see about that.
I'm going to use this bonus action called Hexblade's Curse. So with Hexblade's Curse, I target a creature I can see within 30 feet of me, so the dragon, and this
Yeah.
target is cursed for
We
1
tell you.
minute. Yeah. I gain a bonus to my damage rolls against the cursed target. The bonus equals my proficiency bonus, and my crit range expands to 19. If there's other stuff that happens if the target dies or whatever, so we'll wait for that. So, anyways,
Yeah.
I've added this additional curse.
Okay.
Vera is gonna run up, and
Oh.
is what? No.
You're inside of her.
Oh.
Dragon.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Combat.
And is going to attack with snakes, which is their hair, which is I guess you call it essentially an unarmed strike. But I have a feature for my class. Yeah, here we go. This is where it's all coming together. Called Hex Warrior, where any non-two-handed weapon that I am proficient in, which I would be with snakes, gives it the ability to use my charisma modifier instead of my strength modifier for my attack.
Okay.
So that is what I'm trying to do. So now I have to figure out how to roll that.
It's nice that every
well-
time Greg takes a turn, he reads us a whole book.
Yeah, well, I want to make sure everybody understands what's going on before.
I understand.
Because I'll
So
shorthand
my,
it
my
later.
question would be: do Gorgons have a natural attack, like a bite? Because
Yes.
that's what you're trying to do. So then you're going to be rolling your bite and being able to add bite attack.
With charisma instead of
as a-
strength.
Well, hold on. Sorry, I've got like battle music playing. Let me pause it for a second. When you're saying, how is that different from what I was going to do?
Well, you were saying I have to figure out how to roll it, but all you're going to do is roll your bite attack, but you're just going to do it with the charisma, right? So it's going to be a d20 plus your charisma modifier
Plus
to
your
do the attack.
proficiency.
Plus your proficiency, right?
Yep.
So probably 5 or whatever. And then you'll roll damage just with your bite attack, like maybe plus charisma.
Snakes.
A 22 does hit.
Okay, so there's a couple things that are going to happen here. So,
Right.
So the first thing that happens is I'm going to roll damage. The snake damage is 1d4, but I get to use my charisma plus my proficiency.
No,
So
you don't have
Proficiency's not added to damage.
Oh, sorry. To
Just your
plus
charisma.
Yeah. So that is 1d4 plus 2. Okay.
Plus hex.
So max damage. So that's 6 damage. But
Okay.
yeah, there's a couple things. So the first thing that's going to happen with snakes is you have to do a Constitution saving throw, which is DC of 8 plus my Constitution plus my proficiency bonus. So that is plus 3, so 11 for Constitution saving throw.
I fail.
Oh shit.
You get 1d4 poison damage.
Shit.
So that's an additional poison damage. You also get the necrotic damage from the hex previously. So that's going to be 1d6.
Ooh.
Oh god, that's
Wow.
a shame.
These mims.
Man,
Still
that's
cool.
really annoying.
It is
Still
very
cool, yeah.
Very
High,
cool.
high ceiling on that one.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then last thing. Sorry, just double checking. It's a couple things chained together. Oh, I had advantage from True Strike. Let me double check.
You already,
That's
you
not
already
dead.
had.
You hit already, so
You hit.
Yeah. I just want to double check the wording. So-
you rolled with advantage anyway, even without True Strike, because
Yeah. Okay, and then Hexblade's Curse. Oh, I get a bonus to my damage rolls against the cursed target. The bonus equals my proficiency bonus. So it's actually both of those should be 3s because my proficiency is 2.
So it's like four more.
it's just once. It's just once,
Would
not
be once.
twice.
Yeah.
Oh, for the initial.
The hex.
Mhm.
It wouldn't go to the hex damage. Right?
Yes,
It
yeah,
would
yeah.
go-
You're right. Yeah, sorry. It would be 2 more points of damage total. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that is finally the end of my turn. Sorry about that.
Necrotic, poison, piercing,
Yeah.
and
Piercing. Yeah.
Snakes.
charisma. Yeah.
With snakes. Yeah, with
Cool.
the charisma bonus.
Very cool.
So there you go. So that is my.
All right, Joe,
that is-
follow that.
So I
All
think it's
right.
11 points of damage.
It's just mockery.
Nope, I'm gonna shoot this motherfucker. I'm gonna pull out my gun. I'm gonna do the spin with the lever action. And then attempt a shot. 16 to hit.
Ooh, 16 does hit.
9 piercing.
Wow. That visibly like takes it back. I'm not gonna move it, but
It slams against the chair.
it slams against the chair. The chair kind of
Again.
like rocks, and it's
This boss has been sitting the entire combat.
It's only made of stone, guys. Don't worry.
just stone. Yeah, fine hit.
The woman in the cage, she's like alive, right? She's just asleep.
She is alive and unconscious.
Okay. That's fine. I'm done.
Wanai.
Sword coming at our 18.
18 does
Double
hit.
18s.
A lot of doubles.
That's a 7 damage. 5
gosh.
slash 2 rage.
Yeah, she is bleeding.
You'd be bleeding.
Is that bringing another one across her dragon titties?
Oh no.
I wish you hadn't said that.
so many things tonight. Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I didn't want that to have to be my catchphrase, but you've really forced my hand.
My turn is over.
Great, it's now her turn. She is going to attack Wanai with her first attack. She's going to use kind of like a breath weapon here,
Oh shit.
so I hope it hurts you very badly.
Rude.
Well,
He is the
console?
he
I'm
is
gonna
the
catch
mean
multiple.
neighborhood DM.
I'm the unfriendly neighborhood GM.
I guess.
Let me make sure I've got this right.
That makes you sound like you're a general manager at like an Applebee's.
You can understand why I would be unfriendly.
All these motherfuckers coming in for
God.
dollaritas.
Okay, the first attack misses. And the second attack misses. What a cool boss.
Minneapolis people, we should get dollaritas.
I am a poor choice to attack, to be fair.
With
On the
these
boss,
rolls,
on the
it
monster.
would not matter.
Ah, okay, fair.
Back to Manny.
Finish this
Well,
shit off.
We got a lot of damage. Do we want to try to capture it? Manny,
No.
Set up a pitfall trap.
You're
Use your flash
raging.
bomb.
You're raging.
you're right. Let's swing. 22. I'm gonna
That
assume
does
hits.
hit. Yeah.
That's 13 points of bludgeoning damage.
Describe how you kill this dragon monster.
It's just been he is covered in blood at this point. You know what I mean? Just like black. There's probably been human blood, his own blood, and it's just been like whack-a-mole or whack-a-toad. And I imagine the room around him is covered in this fairy fire, this sort of like sparkling, almost ethereal flames around him, and it's just like reflecting off his like body that's slick with all this, and it's finally this thing where Wanai slashes it, and the dragon like goes back against the stone chair, and he just takes his hammer and he swings, and I think it breaks the top off the stone back with the dragon's head like lolling over the back of it.
Damn.
Love that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you kill her in a grisly fashion.
this doesn't apply because I didn't take any damage. But if I had taken damage, I would then, because of the Hexblade's curse, get hit points back from the cursed
Oh,
and
life
with my
link.
own health afterwards as well. Yeah.
Sick.
So you're the real frontline fighter.
Well, I'm trying to build a character, which I've never done before, that is a strategy engine, essentially. And it's like compounding same type things over and over to just make it very, very powerful in a specific way. So it's going to be very cool to play around. But yeah,
Me too. It's called hit stuff with my hammer.
called
Okay.
Bash.
It'll be cool by level 3.
I'm very
So we,
excited for double berserker, like 3
Yeah.
frontline fighters and me. Very excited.
We kind of rushed through this entire dungeon, so I think we should end here, and we can play the resolution of this at a less breakneck pace.
Yeah.
When we resume next time.
Speed run. Yep, I love it.
Sounds great.
Sounds good.
Thanks for playing, everyone. Nice
yeah.
work.
Well done.
Thanks for tuning
Yeah.
in.
Thanks.
You will level up to level 2.
Hey.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yeah, let's do Resident Thorns quickly after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna play the outro right now and mute everyone first.